Good morning, grade 10 students. In this video, we're going to start our new chapter about plants, the nutrients needed by the green plants, and some of the important process that occurs in green plants. So first of all, let's ask these questions. If a horse gets hungry, what does it do? Simply, it will nibble the grass. So it feed on grass. So it nibbles the grass, which is the food for this horse. So if a tiger gets hungry, what does it do? Sure, it will hunt a prey, which is a food for the tiger. What about you? If you got hungry, what do? Either we cook food, most of you didn't do so. So either we cook food or we order food. And all of you, you do this, you order food. So either you cook or you order food. So what about the green plants? What do they eat? How do they get their food? We're going to solve or to answer these questions step by step during this session and the next session. So be ready in order to start. In this session, we have four names. We have light, we have water, we have carbon dioxide, CO2, and we have minerals. So these four, what do they represent? They represent the nutrients needed by the green plants. No, they are the elements needed for the growth of a green plant in order to grow normally and grow well. So these are the needed by the green plant in order to grow. So what are the green plants? Green plants, they are the plants that contain the green pigment, which is the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, so these plants, they contain the chlorophyll. It's a pigment, it's a small pigment in a green plant. It absorbs sunlight so that it can give the color green for the green plants. Also, they are called chlorophyllic plants because they contain this chlorophyll. Why? The non-green plant, they call non-chlorophyllic. Okay, they don't contain this pigment, which is the chlorophyll. So green plants, as a conclusion, as a definition of the green plants, they are the plants that contain the green chlorophyll or this green pigment, which is the chlorophyll. So without the chlorophyll, the green plants won't be green. They will have another color other than green. So they are classified as chlorophyllic plants because they contain the chlorophyll. While if chlorophyll is absent, they are classified as non-chlorophyllic plants because they don't have this pigment. So first of all, green plants, they contain the green chlorophyll, which is a pigment in green plants that absorbs the sunlight and makes the color to be green in color. Green plants and water. In this experiment, we are studying the importance of water for the growth of green plants. So the objective of this experiment or the aim of this experiment or the purpose of this experiment or the goal of this experiment, all of them, they have the same meaning. Why do we do this experiment? So we do this experiment to study the importance of water for the growth of green plant. For example, here, instead of objective, I want to talk about the pose problem. Pose problem is very similar to the aim, but it should be in the form of question. So what is the pose problem here? You have to say it in the form of question. So the aim is to study the importance of water for the growth of green plants. So what is the pose problem? Is water or does water or what is the importance of water for the growth of the green plant? Should be in the form of question. And you have to put question mark at the end. So pose the problem. It's similar to the aim, but it should be in the form of question. So the aim was to study the importance of water for the growth of green plant. Pose a problem, it should be in the form of question. So you can say, what is the importance of water for the growth of green plants? Okay, so this is the difference between the aim and the pose the problem. They are very similar to each other, but the pose the problem should be in the form of question. So in this experiment, we have two figures. Figure 1, containing a cornfield that is water, contain water, while in figure B, we have cornfield that is a dry season. so there is no water. So the variable factor between these two figures, in figure 1 we have water, in figure 2 we don't have water. So they said complete the following table of conditions and results. Always and always and always in table of conditions, the plus it means presence and the minus it means absence. So all the conditions they are found in both plants except for the water in plant 2. So in plant 1 we have water, so plus, and minerals. We have sunlight, so plus. We have CO2 in the air. While in plant 2 the variable is we don't have water, no water. And there is light, so light is a presence, and carbon dioxide is present. So the variable factor is only the water here. So in the presence of water, the green plant, it grows normally. It grows normally. While there is no water, in the absence of water, the green plants, they grow slowly and then they will die. So sure, this is the title for this table. Table showing the conditions and the results. Always and always the table should be drawn using a pencil and sure using a ruler, and you can fill it using a pen. So this is the table of condition. So they ask you, identify the variable factor in this experiment. So this is the first question for this session. What is the variable factor in this experiment by raising your hand? What is the variable factor? So what is the difference between the two plants, 1 and 2? So what is the variable factor? Yes, Ahmad, Farhat, good morning.
Good morning,
So
Ustaz.
what is
The
the
variable
variable?
factor is water.
Water. So in plant 1 we have water, in plant 2 we don't have water. So this is the variable factor. Thank you, Ahmad. So the variable factor is that in plant 1 we have water and in plant 2 we don't have water. So compare the aspect. Whenever I talk about the aspect of the plant, being that their appearance, how do they look like? So in plant 1, the plants they are tall and green in color whenever we have water. While in the absence of water, the plants they are yellow and they are short and they have abnormal growth. So analyze the experiment and draw out a conclusion. So let's move. So what is the variable factor? As Ahmad said, the variable factor is water. Compare the aspect of the plants. Pay attention here whenever we move to the compare. Compare, I said plants 1 that are watered, meaning that in the presence of water, they are tall and they are green. While plants 2 that are not watered, so this is the variable factor. No water, they are shorter and they are yellow in color. Analyze. So after watering plants 1, these plants they grow tall and green. Yet without water, so here I said watering plants and without water. So I talk about the variable factor and you have to mention it in the analysis. The green plants they become yellow and they die in the absence of water. So what is this conclusion? This conclusion says the green plants they need water in order to grow tall and green. So the first element needed for the growth of the green plants it's the water. So water is needed for the growth of green plants. So here in this application, we identified the variable factor. How could you compare the aspect, the appearance, the shape of the green plants? We analyzed and we draw out a conclusion. And pay attention, draw out a conclusion, draw out not to draw. Draw out meaning that give a conclusion or what can you deduce. Okay, so first element needed for the growth of the green plant is the water. Moving for the second experiment. In this experiment, the objective is to study the importance of mineral salts for the growth of green plants. So if I ask you, what is the posed problem? What is the posed problem in this question? If I said the aim, yes, Fatima, what is the posed problem in this application or in this question?
Good morning.
Good morning,
The fourth
Fatima.
problem is what is the importance of mineral salts for the growth of green plants?
Okay, very good. Thank you, Fatima. So, what is the importance of mineral salts for the growth of the green plant? This is the posed problem. Okay, so let's move step by step. So we have to complete the following table of conditions and results. Plus means absence and minus, plus means present, sorry, and minus it means absence. So here we have two plants. One with mineral salts, which is plant B. It contains mineral salts. While plant A, it is without. So no mineral salts here, no mineral salts, or no minerals if you want. And here we have minerals, they exist. So if I told you compare the aspect of the green plants in plants A and B, what did you say? What can you say about this? If I told you compare the aspect, yes, compare the aspect of the green plants in A and B, green plant A and green plant B. You have to compare the aspect, the appearance. Yes, I need other than Fatima and Ahmad Farhat, others. Yes, Ahmad Shami. Good morning.
Good morning, Ustaz.
Good morning, Habibi.
In,
So
in
compare
plant
the
A with
aspect.
no okay. In plant A with no mineral salts,
Very good.
the leaves grow short and die.
The plant grows
Yet in
short
plant
and die.
the
Very good.
plant grows short and die. Yet in plant B with minerals,
Yes.
the plant grows tall and green.
And it grows normally. Very good. So here, Ahmad focused on the variable factor. Ahmad says with minerals or without minerals. So this is a very important one. Thank you, Ahmad. Very good. Thank you. So let's move now to the table. The table of conditions and results. What do we have? In plant A, both of them they have water. So variable factor, no. In plant A, there is no minerals. While in plant B, we have the minerals. So here it's the variable factor. The variable factor is here. Light is present in both plant A and plant B. CO2 is present in both plant A and plant B. And this is the title for this table. It's table of conditions and results. So here, plant A, green plants, they grow slowly. Green plants, they grow rapidly. Green plants, they grow slowly in the absence of minerals, and they are short and smaller in size. Whereas in plant B, the green plants, they grow rapidly. So here, it's the variable factor, the minerals or the mineral salts. Moving to the questions. Indicate the variable factor in this experiment. So the variable factor, it is the minerals. Compare the aspect. Ahmad says that the plant A that's without minerals, it grows short and it has abnormal growth, whereas plant B with minerals, it grows normally and grows tall. Analyze. Who can analyze this experiment? Yeah, who can analyze this? I need that other than Fatima and Ahmad Farhad and Ahmad Sheen. So other than this, or I'm going to choose. So yeah, raising your hand. Analyze this experiment. Yes. So I'm going to choose. Let's have Sami Shahimi. Good morning. Shahimi family.
Good morning,
Good
Stas.
morning. Analyze this experiment, yeah, Sami.
In plant A with mineral salts,
Yes. So you can say after placing plant A in a medium with no mineral salts, what will happen for the plants?
grows slowly then dies.
Okay, while
While in plant B with mineral salts,
yes,
the plant grows rapidly
yes, and
and
it grows
heavily.
normally. Excellent. So what can you deduce? Draw out a conclusion, Yasami.
Mineral salts is important for plant growth.
Excellent. Mineral salts, they are important for the growth of green plants. So here, they said indicate the variable factors. The variable factor is the mineral salts. Compare the aspects of the plants. So plant A, that's grown in distilled water. Why did I mention here distilled water? Yeah, who can tell me why did I mention here distilled water? And what is the difference between the distilled water and the water. Yes. Yes, Kamel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so what do you think? What the difference? Why did I mention distilled water? And I mentioned in the second plant that water.
Distilled water has no minerals in it, and
Very
water
good.
has a lot of minerals in it.
Very good. So distilled water contains no minerals. There is no mineral in with distilled water. Distilled water ما فيها minerals with no minerals. Whereas the water, the tap water, it contains minerals. So we have minerals here. So you have to pay attention to this. Distilled water, no minerals exist. We have no minerals in the distilled water. So this is the difference here. Yes, Adam.
Estez, good
Yes.
morning.
Good
فينا
morning.
نقول بدل
English,
distilled
please.
water boiled? Can we say instead of distilled water, boiled water?
Boiled water?
Yes,
Why? What is the goal of this boiled water?
because the boiled water removes minerals, right?
Uh, it's not exactly clear this. Yani it's not exactly proof that it's removed the minerals. No. Okay, so you can work on this part.
Uh,
Okay, so distilled water is the water without minerals, while the tap water or any other water, it contains minerals. Distilled water is the one that comes, for example, I can give you an example about this. Distilled water that comes from the AC, the air conditioner, the water that comes out from the AC, distilled water. Okay, so moving for the analysis, with distilled water only, the plant A does not grow well, while with the water rich in mineral salts, the plant can grow fast. So the second conclusion in this applications is that the plant they need mineral salts in order to grow. So the first conclusion about the green plant they need water to grow. Second, they need mineral salts. Let's move to the third experiment. Green plants and light. So objective of this experiment is to study the importance of light for the growth of green plants. So if I ask you, yeah, Muhammad Watfa, good morning.
Good morning.
So if I ask you, Muhammad, they said the objective of this experiment or the goal of this experiment or the purpose of this experiment or the aim of this experiment is to study the importance of light for the growth of the green plant. So if I ask you, what is the pose the problem here? What is the pose the
What
problem?
is the importance of
Yes?
what is the what is the importance of light for growth
Of green
for
plant.
the growth of the green plants?
And finally, what do you have to put? Question mark. Okay? Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. So here in this experiment, we have to study the importance of light for the growth of green plants. So what do you have here? We have two plants, A and B, or 1 and 2. In plant 1, it's placed in darkness. It's placed inside a black box that is an opaque one, does not allow the light to pass through it. So first, we put the plants, we have water, we have normal conditions, but it's placed inside the black box. So there is darkness. And 8 days later, what happened? The plants, they became yellow and they are not well developed. While in the watered soil or whenever we have sunlight in plant 2, so we have normal growth, the plants are green and they are well developed. So if I ask you, yeah, let's move to new choices. I want to move to Brahim Tairik. Good morning, Brahim. Brahim Tairik. It's Bob Tairik. Brahim, can you hear me? I think you can't. So let's move to other choices. Let's move to Heidi. Good morning, Heidi. Heidi, good morning. I think Heidi also has a problem. So let's move to Ahmad Audi. Ahmad, good morning.
Good morning.
So if I ask you, Ahmad, what is the variable factor in this experiment?
Sunlight.
Sunlight. So the presence or absence of sunlight. So the light is the variable factor. Very good. Thank you, Ahmad. Moving to Yaqub. Yaqub, if I told you, compare the aspects of the plants 1 and 2.
Um, in plants one,
Yes.
they were covered by a black box,
Yes.
while in plant two,
Did you
they
understand
weren't
my
covered.
question? What is my
To
question,
compare
Jacob?
the
Aspect.
uh,
So you have to compare the aspect. What the meaning of comparing the aspect? The appearance of the plants. So plants one
okay.
that are without
In
sunlight,
plants one, the plants were yellow and not well developed.
without sunlight. You have to mention this.
Okay.
And
While in plant two,
yes.
plants are green and well developed with sunlight.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. Moving to, I have new choices here. I wanna Jad Rasas. Jad Rasas, good morning.
Good morning, Ustaz.
Okay, Jad, we have two experiments or two plants. One with darkness, complete darkness. The plant they are yellow and not well developed, while those in the light they are green and they are well developed. So if I ask you, what can you deduce? Draw out a conclusion here.
We deduce that light is important for the growth of the plants.
So here, light is important for the growth of the green plant. Thank you. Thank you. So here we complete the table of conditions. Always, as you see, I'm drawing the table of conditions because I want you to get used to this. Already we use this a lot in grade 9. So table of condition, all of the conditions, they are available except for the light, which is absent in plant 1. So we put minus, and the presence in plant 2. So we put plus. So duration, I put 8 days because it's mentioned inside the question. So green plants, they are yellow and well developed, and the green plants in the presence of sunlight, they are green and well developed. So if I ask you, Hassan, what are the three elements needed, Hassan Asal, what are the three elements needed for the growth of the green plants? So how many elements did till now you have? We explain about three elements necessary for the growth of the green plants. So what are they? So I think Hassan Asal has a problem. Let's move to Hassan Mohsen. Other Hassan. Hassan Mohsen, good morning.
Good morning.
So till now we talk about the three different elements needed for the growth of the green plants. Can you give me the name of these three elements?
Water,
Water,
light,
excellent.
and CO2.
No, CO2 we didn't talk about it till now. So we talk about water, we talk about the sunlight, and we talk about the minerals. Okay? So till now we didn't
Uh,
talk about the CO2. Okay, thank you, Hassan. So here, indicate the variable factor, it's the light. So plant one, compare the aspect. Plant one that is grown in darkness is yellow and not well developed, while plant two that's grown in presence of light, they're green and they are well developed. Analyze the obtained results. So analysis for these results, in the absence of light, plant one becomes yellow and is not well developed. Yet in the presence of light, the plant grows green and is well developed. Conclusion for the third experiment here, the third conclusion is the green plant, they need the sunlight to grow well and remain green in color. This is the third conclusion. Moving for the fourth experiment. The fourth experiment is done to study the importance of CO2. What is the CO2? It's carbon dioxide for the growth of green plants. So this is the objective, or this is the aim or the purpose of this experiment. Michael, good morning. Good morning, Michael. Michael, do you hear me? Okay, let's move to Samir Bawab. Samir, good morning.
Good morning, Ustaz.
So if I ask you, Samir, what is the posed problem here?
Uh, 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 is to
First of
no
all, pose the problem should be in the form of
uh,
what?
question.
Question. So the aim is to study the importance of CO2 for the growth of green plant. Can you make it in the form of question?
Mm.
Yes.
Is the CO2 important for the growth of green plants?
Very good. We can say, is CO2 important for the growth, or what is the importance of CO2 for the growth of green plant? Thank you. Very good. So let's move to this experiment. So we have two plants, plant A and plant B. Plant A, it is being planted, is placed in a glass jar that allows the light to pass through it after 15 days. So the duration is 15 days. The plant grows tall and green in color and grows normally. While in plant B, so the plant, it grows abnormally and it has short appearance and the leaves they become yellow in color after 15 days. So what is the difference? Difference here we have potassium hydroxide, but this is not the variable factor. Potassium hydroxide is KOH, KOH. It's potassium hydroxide. It absorbs carbon dioxide from the earth. So it has an important role in absorbing CO2 from the earth. So here in this plant, we don't have CO2. There is no CO2. Why? Because this potassium hydroxide absorbs the CO2. So the variable factor here is the CO2. So here they ask you, you have to tell me about the following. You have to talk about the variable factor. So first of all, the variable factor, it's the CO2. So in the first plan, we have CO2, while in the second plan, we don't have CO2. So this is the variable factor. And they ask you about the comparison or they compare the aspect of the plant. So you have to say in the plant one that contains CO2, it grows normally and it has normal appearance and normal growth, whereas the plant that contains no CO2, it has abnormal growth, and finally the plants they wither and they will die. So the variable factor is the CO2, carbon dioxide, and not potassium hydroxide, KOH. The variable factor here is CO2. Plant A that is grown in the presence of carbon dioxide is tall and green, while in plant B that is grown in the absence of carbon dioxide, it withers and becomes yellowish in color. So analyze the obtained result. In the presence of carbon dioxide, the plant A becomes tall and green, while in the absence, the plant B withers and it becomes yellowish. Draw out a conclusion. This is the fourth conclusion here. So the green plants, they need carbon dioxide in order to grow. So here we have four elements needed. So the green plants, they need what? They need, this is the general conclusion, they need water, they need mineral salts, they need carbon dioxide, CO2, and they need light in order to grow well. So these are the four elements needed for the growth of green plants. So you have to study these. You have to know how to analyze an experiment, to draw out the table of condition, how to draw out a conclusion, and how to identify the pose the problem and the aim of this experiment. Thank you.